Good morning, students. Class 12th. Yesterday, I sent you a video of chapter 4 of Vistas, the Enemy, which is written by Pearl S. Buck. So, dear student, I have given you a little introduction in that regarding the chapter, that it is based on what. Moreover, we have discussed the main characters of the chapter. So, let's start the chapter, The Enemy. Before you read, it is the time of the World War. An American prisoner of war is washed ashore in a dying state and is found at the doorstep of a Japanese doctor. Should he save him as a doctor or hand him over to the army as a patriot? This is the question raised by the author. See, student, as the war was going on, what is the duty of a doctor? The war was between America and Japan, right? The doctor was a Japanese and the POW, he was a prisoner of war, he was an American. And now the doctor found him at his doorstep, I would say, because he was washed there in a dying state. So what should be done by the doctor? Being a doctor, it was the duty of Dr. Sadao to save the life of that particular fellow. Either he is his friend or the enemy. Right, let's start the chapter now. Dr. Sadao Hoki's house was built on a spot of the Japanese coast where, as a little boy, he had often played. Dr. Sadao Hoki, the main character of the chapter, his house, now the author is giving the description of his house. It was built where? It was built on a spot of the Japanese coast. Coast means the edge or the bank, where as a little boy he had often played, and he used to play it there when he was a child. The low square stone house was set upon rocks well above a narrow beach that was outlined with bent pines. So mainly his house was situated where? It was situated well above a narrow beach, and that was outlined with bent pine trees. As a boy, Sadao had climbed the pines, sporting himself on his bare feet, as he had seen men do in the South Seas when they climbed for the coconuts. So he also did the same thing. In this way we can say he tried to imitate them. He used to climb on those pine trees, sporting himself on his bare feet, as he had seen men do in South Seas when they climbed for coconuts. His father had taken him often to the islands of those seas, and never had he failed to say to the little brave boy at his side, "Those islands yonder, that they are the stepping stones to the future for Japan." So whenever Dr. Sadao's father, he used to take him where? Take him often to those islands. And he never failed to say, means definitely whenever he used to take him there, he used to say one thing to his little brave boy from his side, that those islands yonder here means there that you cannot see further, there that you cannot see further. It means when both of them they are standing, his father used to point towards the islands and says, that you cannot see further, my dear, from here, from that particular point, but let me make it very clear to you that these are the stepping stones to the future for Japan. It means if you really want to do something, you have to move forward, and especially in that area which is not visible right now. For getting success, we have to go ahead. We have to go ahead. We cannot stop. Where shall we step from them? Sadao had asked seriously. So whenever his father used to say that these are the stepping stones to the future for Japan, then Dr. Sadao used to question, where shall we step from them? It means, where shall we go from them? That was the question raised by whom? Raised by Dr. Sadao. And to whom? He used to ask this question very seriously. To whom? To his father. And his father says what? Who knows? His father had answered. Who knows? Who can limit our future? Whatever there in future, we do not know. And nobody in this universe can limit our future. It depends on what we make it. So our future depends on our efforts. Our future depends on our hard work. Our future depends on our curiosity. Okay? So whatever we want, we can make. It depends on us. Sadao had taken this into his mind as he did everything his father said. Sadao had taken this into his mind. What? Whatever the words said by his father. Sadao had taken this into his mind as he did everything his father said. Means whatever was said by his father, he took those words very seriously and he followed. My dear students, usually we say that your well-wishers are your parents as well as teachers. So when we say something to you, somewhere we are saying those words for your future, for your own benefit. And whenever the parents say something, it means your benefit is there. So do not take the words of your parents as well as your teachers otherwise. Follow them seriously. Be sincere, be obedient, because they are your well-wishers. So this chapter teaches this thing also along with. His father, who had never jogged or played with him, but who spent infinite pains upon him, who was his only son. See, his father, who never jogged or played with him, means whenever his father used to say something to him, at that moment he was very much serious. And he never played with him, but spent infinite pains upon him, who was his only son. But for its success, he used to take a lot of pains. Don't you think so, my dear students, that each and every parent, they suffer a lot, and the only purpose, anyhow, my ward must get success. Sadao knew that his education was his father's chief concern. Sadao, he knew it very well, that his education was his father's chief concern. It means his father was very much curious, very much sincere regarding his education. For this reason, he had been sent at 22 to America to learn all that could be learned of surgery and medicine. So where was he sent? He was sent to America. For what? Where he will learn everything of surgery and medicine. He had come back at 30, and before his father died, he had seen Sadao become famous not only as a surgeon, but as a scientist. Underline, dear students. So before his father died, he had seen him that he became a very famous, not only as a surgeon but as a scientist as well, because he was perfecting a discovery which would render wounds entirely clean. Because he discovered what? He discovered a drug, a medicine. With the help of that, you can clean the wound entirely. He had not been sent abroad with the troops. Also, he knew there was some slight danger that the old general might need an operation for a condition for which he was now being treated medically, and for this possibility, Sadao was being kept in Japan. So here, he was kept in Japan. He was never sent with troops abroad. The reason, the journal might need an operation because his treatment was going on and he was under the treatment of Dr. Sadao. It shows that the General Takima, he was a very selfish fellow, very selfish person. He never thought of his country. He used to think of himself only. That's why he kept Dr. Sadao in Japan only. So my dear students, till here, if you have any doubt, any query, you can ask me telephonically. Okay, so till here you will find out the value points from this chapter. Further we shall learn tomorrow. Thank you.